You know, at the beginning of this year, marked 20 years since the prison at Guantanamo was opened and the first captives were taken there. And I was contacted by the Xinhua news agency in China to do an interview about how bad Guantanamo was. And do you know that the Chinese Foreign Ministry quoted and tweeted out my response to attack the United States of America, to say how it's such a terrible place where people are held without charge or trial and tortured and abused for 20 years beyond and beyond. And whilst that is completely true, you know, they cut out a part of my interview because they said, is there anything that you would like to say to the Chinese people? And I said, yes, there is. There were 22 Uyghurs with us in Guantanamo. And they said all that we thank Allah. We thank Allah that they sent us to Guantanamo and not to China, because what China has done and is doing is on an industrial scale to what the war on terror has done. So understand this, China, that whilst you wanted to use my voice to bash America, I use my voice to bash you. Because what you do to our brothers and sisters. You see, in Guantanamo, there were American soldiers who took their shahada in front of us. You can't imagine that in China that would happen. In China, they try to force you to renounce your faith. But little do they know, we are of the Ummah, of whom great scholars said, ماذا يصنع أعدائي بي? What can my enemies do to me? فجنتي وبستاني في صدري أينما رحت لا تفارقني. Because my paradise and my garden are on my chest, and wherever I go, they do not leave me. فحبسي خلوة وقتلي شهادة وإخراجي من بلادي سياحة. Is martyrdom, and throwing me into prison is time for solitude with my Lord, and throwing me out of my home is tourism. That's the people that we are. So my dear brothers and sisters, think about this. Our brothers and sisters in East Turkestan, because that is what we must call it and repeatedly call it. It's not Xinjiang. It's not China. It's East Turkestan. These are the original Turks. The original Turks, the progenitors of the Turkic people. They started from East Turkestan and migrated right across Central Asia until Turkey. That's who they are. Takbir! And they have a favor upon the Muslim world in that they carried the message of Islam when it was being defeated or being pulverized elsewhere. It was these people who took the message of Islam to the rest of the world. So now as we stand, and we stand in our hundreds all around the world, remember this, the biggest treachery against the Uyghurs hasn't been from the Muslim people, but from the leaders of the Muslim world. There are protests taking place today in Australia, in New Zealand, in America, in South Africa, in Canada, all Western nations. There's only one Muslim nation where it's happening in, and that's Istanbul in Turkey. So what does it tell you? Why is the Ummah not standing with the Uyghurs? How could it be that people are forced to renounce their Shahada and in its place recite the Communist Party manifesto, and yet the Muslim world will not stand with them? In fact, countries like Morocco, like Saudi Arabia, like the Emirates, like Jordan and others have detained Uyghurs and threatened to send them back to China in order that they are imprisoned without charge for life and are forced to renounce their faith. So my dear brothers, I want to finish with this. You see, there is a recompense in this dunya and the akhirah. I've met American interrogators, soldiers and guards who now are drunkards, who now are mentally ill, who now are suffering as a result of the torture they meted out upon us. Think about that. that they thought they were going to break us, but they made us stronger, so that we could come back and tell you about your brothers and sisters who are stronger now in faith. And you see, the recompense is this, and you may have heard it from somebody before. إِن تَكُونُوا تَأْلَمُونَ فَإِنَّهُمْ يَأْلَمُونَ كَمَا تَأْلَمُونَ. That if you are in pain, and indeed we are in pain as a ummah, then they too are in pain. They too are suffering. يَرْجُونَ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَرْجُونَ. And you expect the reward from Allah, that which they will never get.
Takbir!
So dear brothers and sisters, this standing here by us today is a small show of strength of the Muslim community here in Britain. We should be proud of that, but we should never give up. This is one small action, and the action that continues is more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us say to these people of the Chinese government, tell the Uyghurs who we are. La ilaha illallah. Tell the Uyghurs who we are. La ilaha illallah. Tell the Uyghurs who we are. La ilaha illallah. Tell the world who we are.
La ilaha illallah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. That is what brought about our weakness. That if we do not hold on to the rope of Allah, we will be disunited. فَتَنَازَوْا وَتَفْشَلُوا وَتَذْهَبُ رِيحُكُمْ. That you will fight against one another, and you will fail, and your strength will dissipate. So may Allah Azza wa Jal, Allahumma wahid sufuf al-Muslimin.
Ameen.
Allahumma wahid qulubana ya Rabbil Alameen.
Ameen.
Oh Allah, guide us together, grant us unity, and build us into one strong, unified ummah that stands for all our oppressed brothers and sisters, particularly the Uyghurs. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Takbir!
Allahu Akbar!